Hi everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to the channel. I just wanted to do a really quick video updating you with what I've been doing with my orchids. I've got an Oncidium Sherry Baby that's doing really well, a no ID Phalaenopsis, and then over here I've got two little baby Wrinklealia glaucas, and then back here I've got a couple of flower stems that I cut off of the Phalaenopsis. So I've been converting the Phalaenopsis. This is kind of my poster child for waterculture. I'm gonna have to move the camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So here we go. Okay, anyways, this is my Phalaenopsis. And it's got a new growth. That's my leaf coming out right there. And it's got a bunch of really good roots. And on the outside, you can see there are even more air roots with green tips on the end. So you can see it's actually really happy. The reason why I wanted to convert them to waterculture is because they didn't like the media. So, speaking of, over here, this is a Wrinklealia glauca, two of them. When I got it off of Amazon, it came in one container with moss, and it was all stuck together, and I kind of thought it was two plants, so I separated them. And I took off all the mushy roots, and again, this is kind of an advanced technique. If you want to do waterculture, you really have to clean the roots off. I want to do waterculture with my Sherry Baby, but as you can see, it's got a flower stem going, if you can see. It started on this little pseudobulb, and it's growing, and it's dripping happy sap. So it started out in a really bad soil, and I converted it. At first, I fertilized it, and I had to back off, so I put it in a strainer with shredded cardboard, and then I didn't think it had enough nutrients because, as you can see, it's got wrinkles. It did flower once, and it had a beautiful flowering. It was wonderful from this pseudobulb, and then after that, it started growing a new growth here. And at that point, I noticed that this new growth was getting wrinkled. So I moved it to bark. It was a orchid mix online, but it produced a flower stalk while also producing a new growth that is wrinkled, but it's doing better now that it's in the bark. And I'm going to put it in waterculture after it flowers. So I already told you we've got the Phalaenopsis, new leaf, new roots, doing really good. These babies, I mean, they've got lots of roots. Look at them. Over here also, lots of really good roots. And then I told you I cut the flower stalks off this guy, and I put it in moss in a water bottle with holes in it, with holes in the bottom, and then put it in another dish. So I'll keep that with a little bit of water. I'll keep this with a little bit of water, and all of them. They've been doing really well, but this is what I've decided to use to fertilize them. A Topo Chico mineral water, carbonated. So if I can maybe set you guys back up. Does that work? Yeah, that's good enough. Get your moose bottle opener from Canada. Open your Topo Chico. Like so. And I'm gonna pour in just enough to cover the bottom of the roots. And this one wants a little less, so I'll put a little less. Also, I soaked off all this stuff and I let them dry for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So the roots have been really dry. And now for the Phalaenopsis. Again, I don't know if this will work, but they say do your intuition. I've heard less is more, so root tips, root tips, root tips. And then I'll do this one too. Some mineral water for my no IB Phalaenopsis stalks. If you really want to clone that one, that would be so cool. And I'll probably buy more of those, but I've heard that you need calcium and magnesium and sulfur. I don't know if Topo Chico has sulfur, but it's got lots of good stuff. Again, less is more. I'll keep you guys updated. But some people have asked me why I took them out of media. They didn't like the media. It was mushy. The roots, they were mushy. They didn't like the media at all. So this is the first time I've done this, and I'm kind of excited. I think it's gonna work, and this one's gonna flower like in a month. This one, great firm flowers. I mean, not flowers, leaves. They're turgid. They're not limp. They're not yellow. They're green. They have a grow light, and that's how I take care of my orchids so far. I know people have hundreds and hundreds of orchids, but I only have 4 and 2 halves, because these aren't really grown into orchids, but I think I can get new orchids off the flower stalk cuttings. And yeah, I don't know. I'll keep you guys updated. That's just where we're at so far. So maybe to finish the video, I'll give you a couple close-ups. Look how healthy those roots are. Those were the ones that were sticking out of the medium. The one that was in the medium were all mushy and rotted, so I had to kind of pull them away. And that's what the thinner roots are underneath. Again, Rhyncholalia glauca. And if people ask me if they have eyes, they're good. So I think those are a couple eyes right there. And on this one, on the other side, if I were to turn it around, if I were to keep turning, where'd it go? I know I saw it a second ago. Right there. That's an eye right there. So we've got eyes on our Rhyncholaelias with fresh roots. They're old roots. They'll help absorb the nutrients in the mineral water. I've been told that you let them sit in the water for water culture, but not too much, because in nature, most of them like the air. And that's what's going on with my Phalaenopsis. Wow, what beautiful long roots. Turning it around, look at those roots. With the green tips, they're just growing and growing. I've had this for a couple months. I got it for my birthday. Look at that new leaf. And I know that they say that you need 2 leaves before a new flower stalk. So we've got 1, 2, flower stalk will emerge from there. And then there was a flower stalk that was there. 1, 2. So I'm thinking this one is due for a new flower stalk anytime, probably after growing that new leaf. And then I'll show you guys what the Sherry Baby flower stalk looks like. Oops, knocking stuff over. But Beautiful long flower stalk going all the way up. Over here, I mean, this is what I had the Phalaenopsis in before. I used a soldering iron and I put holes in a container. And I had bark, but it was just like, I knew it was going to be growing through the holes and I was going to have to cut it out of the container. I know that bark has pests. And in general, my orchids just, they didn't like being in medium. So, I don't know. They're doing really well, but I'm also a newbie. So, that's the end of the video. I'm about to be cut out right now.